We love Tyler. He's a good guy.
We got more at 10.
That's right. We'll see you there. Our friend Ashlyn Mitchell with a preview of what's coming up on Fox 10 Midday. Hey, Ashlyn.
Yeah, good morning to you, Chelsea, and happy Friday. We have a lot we're talking about on Fox 10 Midday. First, we're taking you to the iconic Blue Angels, who are gracing the skies at the Pensacola Beach Air Show this weekend. Our Stephen Moody has been live all morning long with updates as you've seen, and he'll take us to the sights and sounds of all of the festivities coming up. And then tax-free weekends are approaching in Alabama and Mississippi, so we have the details on how you can save some money on back-to-school shopping. Finally, how is the forecast panning out for the Blue Angels and the rest of the Gulf Coast? Well, Jen has everything you need to know. Your latest headlines and weather is all coming up on Fox 10 Midday.
Summer is in full swing, and with families juggling busy schedules, Whataburger is stepping in to make mealtime easier and more affordable. Joining us now with some tasty ways to save is Whataburger Summer Savings Ambassador Stephanie Hill. And Stephanie, eating out with the family can add up quickly these days. How is Whataburger helping people enjoy great food without breaking the bank this summer?
Well, we know summers are packed with activities. We've got road trips, vacations, beach days, and the number one question on everyone's mind is always, where are we stopping to eat? Well, Whataburger has you covered with big flavor and big value. For a limited time this summer, you can get more food for less with our bigger, better bundles. Just order your favorite Whatameal and you can add on a bonus meal to help round out everyone's orders. You can add on a $4 kids Whatameal, a $5 double meat junior Whatameal, or a $6 9-piece Whata wings. Or if you're just feeding the kids, even better. This bundle works for kids meals too. You can add on a kids meal for just $4 when you order any kids meal. It's the perfect way to make sure everyone is happy and full and ready for those summer activities.
Keeping a close eye on your forecast, and things are calm and quiet out there right now, but how's the rest of your weekend shaping up? I'll be breaking down all the details you need to know coming up.
Plus, President Trump is heading to a grieving Texas to get a first-hand look at the devastation from last week's floods, as the search continues for over 160 people still missing.
Violent confrontations in Southern California stemming from a crackdown on illegal immigration. I'm William Lushness in Los Angeles. Details coming up.
First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for watching Fox 10 Midday on this Friday. I'm Ashlyn Mitchell, along with meteorologist Jennifer Lambers. And Jen, it's a big weekend in Pensacola with the Blue Angels flying in the sky. And what can we expect?
Well, the good news, Ashlyn, is that the forecast is shaping up closer towards Pensacola Beach. The rain holding off, mainly anticipating that to be taking place further inland, which is great. But as always, still be cautious in case you run into any of those storms out there. But also make sure you're beating the heat. That's really going to be the big concern out there. Just a reminder, in case you're planning on heading out towards the Blues at 2 o'clock, or if you're planning on going tomorrow, do keep in mind, once the Blue Angels are flying, the Gulf waters are closed. No swimmers allowed. So make sure that you take that into account with how you're going to be cooling off. Don't think that you can just go float in the water and watch them. Just that way you're staying cool. You got to go ahead, drink some water out there and find some shade. But taking a look at conditions across the southeast right now, we're seeing some sunshine. It's nice, it's calm, it's quiet. Just a little bit of cloud cover out there to start off for this morning. And even seeing just some of those isolated showers already beginning to pop up just on the north side there of Jackson, closer towards Clark County. No thunderstorms yet, just some isolated rain. But over downtown Mobile, it looks calm and quiet from our All-In Credit Union camera at Dolphins. Just starting to see that sunshine. Very few cars heading out to Water Street right now. Temperatures upper 80s, but feeling more like 97 out there. That's going to be the trend all across our area. Seeing those temperatures right now just in the mid to upper 80s, already 90 closer towards Gulf Shores, but the feels like temperatures out there everywhere feeling more like the 90s. No triple digits just yet, but only anticipating more of those once we get further along into the rest of today. Calvert and Atmore already feeling like 99. The good news is that we will have some rain chances just to help cool things down. However, not so good news. Those may impact your Friday night plans. I'll be detailing more on the timing, plus also talking about your Blues and weekend forecast. That's coming up in just a little bit. Ashlyn.
Jen, thank you. Well, we've been waiting for it all week long, and the 2025 Pensacola Air Show is officially here, featuring the Gulf Coast's favorite Blue Angels. Fox 10 News reporter Stephen Moody has been there all morning long, and Stephen, practice just ended, right?
Yeah, hey, that's right. And it just ended in front of a packed Pensacola Beach. I'm going to step out of the way and just show you. This is the crowd that we've seen since we got here around 5 o'clock this morning. And I cannot stress enough just how amazing it is to see all of these people out here. The parking lot is full. The beach is filling up. It's going to be thousands of people here ready for this. Now, our Fox 10 crew has been here all week for the Breakfast with the Blues and for the daily practices. And like you mentioned, it just ended about, I want to say 20 minutes ago, but you still see some of the civilian planes are still flying here live here this morning. People have their cameras out, they're under their tents, and they're staying cool. Now, just want to let you guys know that after we get done here at 11 Our Dacian Smith, we'll have a full stream of the show over on our Fox 10 Golf stream. You can watch that over on our Fox 10 app and, of course, on our website at fox10tv.com. Now, we have a few tips out here. One, make sure if you're coming out today or tomorrow that you get here early. You get a chance to get yourself a parking spot, and you get a chance to get yourself a good spot outside as well so you can see the show perfectly. Second of all, when you get here, make sure to pay attention to the signs, because the one thing you don't want to do is park and see the show and then come back and you either have a ticket or your car is towed, so pay attention. And the third thing is, when you come out here, to stay cool. Make sure you have water, make sure you have your sunscreen, all of those things to make sure that you stay cool in this July Florida heat. And if you want to stay cool, just come and visit our Fox 10 tent here, and you can get as cool as you want, because we have our Fox 10 splash zone here, where you come up and we have this bucket of water here, and you sit down, and as our Dacian Smith is going to demonstrate, hopefully very, very gently, I'm going to sit down here, and then you get a chance just to throw the ball at the target. Now, they filled this up very, very high. He can throw whatever he wants to, because I'm just anticipating he's going to throw as hard as he can. And then you get dumped with water, and then you win one of these great Fox 10 prizes. So it's going to be a fantastic weekend here at Pensacola Beach. We'll have more coming up, like I mentioned, on Fox 10 Golf Stream, and I'll send it back over to you guys in the studio. Reporting live here at Fox 10 at Pensacola Beach, Stephen Moody, Dacian Smith, Fox 10 News.
Well, in the meantime, as President Trump heads to flood-ravaged Texas today, communities there are just beginning to grieve all they have lost. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor has more from Kerrville.
Hearts are heavy across central Texas, and memorials are popping up like this one behind me as the community is just starting the healing process. President Trump will see the devastation firsthand later this afternoon that the floodwaters left behind.
It's a horrible thing, a horrible thing. Nobody could even believe it, such a thing.
It's been 1 week since the Guadalupe River surged more than 20 feet in just 45 minutes, claiming the lives of at least 120 people, with more than 170 still missing. President Trump, along with First Lady and Texas Governor Greg Abbott, is set to meet with first responders who are facing difficult conditions, combing through layers of debris to locate the missing.
I think the country sees that the president brings with him the wishes of the nation, the sadness that comes with it.
The president will also have a roundtable with local officials where questions could be raised as to why there were not better emergency warnings in place. The governor wants state lawmakers to approve funding to upgrade communication alerts in flood-prone areas.
We're going to address every aspect of this storm to make sure that we're going to have in place the systems that are needed to prevent deadly flooding events like this in the future.
But for now, the top priority is still the search for victims and healing. Growing memorials are helping the community process the grief.
It's become a really powerful place for the community to begin to heal and to just spread some love in the air in a place that badly needs it.
Despite rain being in the forecast for the weekend, officials say the search will continue until every missing victim is found. In Kerrville, Texas, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
And meanwhile, one Kerrville resident shows that age isn't a problem when it comes to helping out. 91-year-old Charles Hansen is helping clean up debris from that deadly flooding in Guadalupe Park. He says people impacted by the flooding have more things to worry about than cleaning up.
I have sympathy, of course, for all of the people here. It's a tragedy, and they can't recover. And in fact, I think the people who have suffered the most can't come out now and start doing recovery work, right? So it's up to people who did not really suffer personal harm. I mean, I still got 2 arms and 2 legs, and so I thought I'm the person that should come out here and start cleaning up.
Thank you, Charles, for your incredible example. In the meantime, this is a story that's touched hearts all across the nation, including here on the Gulf Coast. And Gray, the parent company of Fox 10, is teaming up with the Salvation Army for Together for Texas, an effort to help out those affected by the Texas floods. And there are 2 simple ways you can do it. One way is to point your phone's camera at the screen and hover over that QR code there. This will then take you to the website, or you can go to togetherfortx.com to donate. Thank you in advance for your support as we work to help our neighbors to the west. Well, in the meantime, 2 people are dead in a massive crash involving a big rig on a California highway. The deadly crash was caught on camera. Here's video from Interstate 10 in Cathedral City showing the big rig lose control, drift across the highway, crash over the barricade, and end up in the opposite lanes of traffic. At least 4 other cars were involved, multiple people injured. The cab of the semi actually ended up in a ditch. Now, there's no word, though, on who was killed, and the cause of the crash is still under investigation. Well, meanwhile, an immigration raid on Southern California farms leads to a dramatic standoff. Fox News senior national correspondent William Lajeunesse is in Los Angeles with more.
Hundreds of protesters clashed with federal immigration agents in Southern California on Thursday as ICE and Border Patrol agents conduct raids on 2 licensed marijuana farms in Ventura County, where officials found 8 unaccompanied minors, all here illegally. Agents deployed pepper balls, tear gas, and flashbangs, where they were met by demonstrators throwing rocks.
People are welcome to protest. They have their First Amendment rights, but they can't cross that line. They can't impede us from doing our job. That's a felony. They certainly can't put hands on an agent.
The scene became increasingly dangerous when one protester appeared to fire a gun at agents. The FBI now offering a $50,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. California Governor Gavin Newsom responding to the incident, saying the Trump administration tactics, quote, evoke chaos, fear, and terror within our communities. This as we await a ruling by a federal judge in California that could curtail some federal immigration enforcement by the administration. However, the judge saying any ruling should not be overly broad. Quote, I think it's important for the court not to burden otherwise lawful law enforcement activities.
They want ICE to stop doing this, but if they base it on the rule of law, they're going to find out Border Patrol and ICE is doing exactly what they're going to do in accordance with law.
We are expecting that ruling later today. In Los Angeles, William Lajeunesse, Fox News.
And turning to an unusual rescue in suburban Cincinnati, Ohio, after a boy skipped the traditional way of winning a prize from a claw machine. Surveillance video there caught the moment the boy managed to climb inside a stuffed animal claw machine at a community center earlier this week. The child can be seen peering into the prize door before shimmying inside. A volunteer seemed to see the child's legs sticking out of the door before he climbed all the way inside and became trapped. Moments later, employees unplugged the machine and rolled it into a nearby store, while crews eventually opened the back of it and freed the child. According to a police report, he wasn't injured. In a sweet ending, the boy gifted his prize to his mom. Well, straight ahead on Fox 10 Midday, Ford breaks a record. Plus, the heat can make it a lot harder to exercise. Straight ahead, tips on how to safely exercise in the dog days of summer. Jen, today is a perfect example of that.
That is exactly right, Ashley. Make sure you're staying hydrated too for any of that outdoor activity. But we're taking a live view outside down on Dauphin Island, just seeing the ferry leaving there, seeing plenty of sunshine. But over the next few hours, we'll continue to warm up. Daytime highs maxing out mid-80s, feeling more like the 90s though. A lot of folks getting out and enjoying it for this Friday. I'll have more details on the rain chances for this afternoon and evening. That's coming up when we come back.
Welcome back in on your Friday. Ford has had more safety recalls in the first 6 months of the year than any car company ever has in an entire calendar year. There were 88 safety recalls as a whole, and Ford says most are expansions of earlier recalls and its goal of improving quality. It says the recalls are actually a sign of its quick response to find and fix any hardware or software issues and to go the extra mile to protect customers. Well, emergency room visits for tick bites are now at the highest level since 2019. That's all according to the CDC. New data from June shows 229 tick bites per every 100,000 visits to ERs, which is up from 167 tick bites per 100,000 ER visits from June of 2024. Now, the rise in emergency room visits for tick bites is mostly prevalent in the Northeast. Experts say the spike in ER visits could be because of record high tick populations, as well as longer tick seasons across the country, meaning people should stay vigilant year-round when it comes to those sneaky critters. Experts say the best way to protect yourself is by wearing long-sleeved clothing, using insect repellent while outside, and doing a tick check once back indoors. Well, this probably isn't the first time that you've been told that exercise is critical for both your physical and mental health, but as temperatures rise, you might find it harder to stay active, myself included. But experts say continuing your exercise routine is important no matter the season. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has tips on how to safely exercise when it's really hot outside.
Your body's need for exercise doesn't take a summer break.
I tell my patients, keep active, make sure you're exercising, doing your cardio 30 minutes a day with cardio aerobic activity, putting in some weight resistance training on top of that during the week.
Dr. Jesse Bracamonte with Mayo Clinic says that while staying active year-round is important, exercising in the heat can put you in harm's way if you're not careful. He says you have to be mindful of the heat, humidity, and dryness.
Just be intentional and be careful out in the summer months, particularly if you're not used to these summer months or the high humidity or the heat waves that come along.
If your exercise routine takes you outdoors, Bracamonte says to go out when the sun's not as strong, early in the morning or in the evening when it's cooler. And hydration is key. Before exercise, he recommends drinking at least 20 to 30 ounces of water to get the body started in hydration. And during exercise, rehydrating every 15 to 20 minutes to keep the body from depleting itself. And after being active, continue that hydration.
You want your urine to look like clear lemonade. That's a sign of hydration rather than dark apple juice color.
Bracamonte says to also wear appropriate clothing. He recommends loose, light material. And if you do exercise outdoors, find a place that has shade if possible.
Staying cool is really key.
Good 3. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Taking another look at your forecast, and take a look at this. This is going to be the view down in Pensacola Beach. A lot of folks getting out there and enjoying it. It is jam-packed for this portion of our local coastal beaches. But if you look out in the distance, you can even start to see all of the boats out there that are enjoying the civilian air show right now. Just a reminder, in case you plan on heading to the Blue Angels later on this afternoon or tomorrow, it looks to be that the Gulf waters are open right now, but they do close once the blues are flying. So make sure you take that into account for some ways that you're going to be cooling down heading into tomorrow. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at the temperatures out there, and it's toasty. 90 in Gulf Shores, 88 at Pensacola International, so a little further inland, but dew points, they're a little better, and it's because you see those westerly, northwesterly winds. They're trying to bring in some of the drier air out there, so the feels like temperatures aren't straying away too much. We're just starting to see it stray away by about 4 to 6 degrees out there, a lot better than what it could be, and especially something that we like to see once we're going to start to introduce higher daytime highs once we get into the second half of the weekend and the early part of next week. Now, closer towards our coastal areas, still anticipating that sea breeze to continue to kick in heading later on into this afternoon. So those winds just shift out of the southwest by the second half of today. Still calm winds closer towards 10 miles per hour. But taking a look at that full rehearsals or that full rehearsal for today, what we're starting to see is those daytime highs just maxing out the upper 80s heading into this afternoon. Lower 90s, feeling warmer. but you notice not quite seeing those rain chances. Any of the rain chances for today, anticipating those to not only stay further inland, but also to come later on in the evening. Repcar risk at our local beaches, it looks great. That's courtesy of some of those calm winds out there. Low today, tomorrow continuing that way even to start off for the early portion of next week. But do keep in mind it's still staying hot out there. Daytime highs upper 80s, lower 90s. Feels like temperatures upper 90s and the triple digits. We'll continue to even see that gap heading into tonight, so continuing to stay a little muggy and a little warm feeling for any of those Friday night plans. But those heat indices over the next few days continuing to tick up. It could be higher, but the good news is that humidity not super high, but those daytime highs will be in the mid 90s. We're in the lower 90s for today, tomorrow, but by Sunday into the early part of next week, we're looking closer towards 95, 96. So by that point, that's when we could possibly see some of those heat advisories issued. Our criteria here with our local National Weather Service office is closer towards 108. So in case you do work outside, please be careful Monday and Tuesday when it's only going to be feeling hotter out there. Timing things out on our futurecast, we do have some rain chances for today, and we're already seeing some of those firing off closer towards Clark County to begin, only anticipating more of that by the early part of the afternoon. And then we turn a little bit more widespread near dinner time, even a little bit later than that, 7, 8, and 9 p.m. Some of these showers could be a little stronger, heavy downpours, frequent lightning, gusty winds. Just make sure that you're driving carefully. Just be flexible with any of those Friday night plans, as they could still linger closer towards 10, even 11 o'clock. Now, here's a look at what I'm tracking over the next 7 days. That summertime pattern is here and here to stay. There's that warm up that I mentioned by Monday and Tuesday. The trade-off is that those rain chances do go down just a little bit, but still at 30%. I'll keep you updated throughout the rest of the hour on your forecast. Ashlyn.
Jen, thank you for that. Well, right now we're seeing some incredible images of the sun from NASA. Look at this. The Parker Solar Probe snapped these images about 3.8 million miles from the solar surface. And that is the closest any probe has ever been to the sun. The new close-ups show the solar wind and a constant stream of electrically charged particles. Scientists say the photos may help them understand the mysteries of the solar wind and its impact on Earth. The Parker Solar Probe passed by the sun late last year, and NASA released the brand new images just yesterday. Well, starting today, the state of Mississippi is holding its tax-free weekend. What you need to know after this. As always, thanks for watching Fox 10 Midday on your Friday. Stay close. Welcome back. You're watching Fox 10 Midday on your Friday now. And President Trump's big, beautiful bill aimed to fulfill a campaign promise he made to workers last fall. But no tax on tips or overtime is more complicated than the shorthand implies. Tom O'Sabin of the National Association of Tax Professionals says that tax professionals are still seeking clarity from the IRS in some areas of the new law, like specifics on eligible workers. What they do know is that workers in jobs that traditionally receive tips will be able to deduct up to $25,000 in tip income from their federal income taxes on their 2025 tax return. And workers who receive overtime could deduct up to $12,500 of that extra pay. Income limits will apply, and the tax break is temporary through the end of 2028. Meanwhile, O'Sabin says the changes make it even more important for workers to track their tips.
Documentation becomes even more important. Otherwise, the deduction won't apply because it could be challenged by IRS and disallowed.
And the new federal law doesn't change tax law for individual states. State income taxes still apply to both tips and overtime. Well, attention shoppers in Mississippi, you can now save some money on those back to school supplies. Starting today, you don't have to pay sales tax on school supplies and other items of clothing and shoes if the item costs less than $100. Online purchases made during the sales tax holiday are tax-free, but shipping doesn't count toward the $100 item limit. The tax holiday runs through Sunday. And Alabama's sales tax holiday officially kicks off next Friday at 12:01 a.m. and lasts until midnight on Sunday. And during the 3-day tax holiday, the state waives its 4% sales tax on school-related items. Many cities and counties throughout Alabama will also waive their local taxes. Those eligible items include certain school supplies, computers, books, and clothing. The Alabama Department of Revenue has a full list of eligible items on its website. Well, right after this, the Pop-Tarts mascots are heading across the pond. We have that story for you. Plus, car payments continue to rise, and it's not due to tariffs. Coming up, how some people are getting creative when it comes to buying a car. Jen, if folks are out car shopping today, they need to stay hydrated.
That is exactly right. Lots and lots of water for this Friday and continuing into this weekend. But also just a heads up for all you space fans out there. We do have one last opportunity to view the International Space Station before it's going to be about another 10 days here locally. So heading into tonight, the timing looking to be about 9:09. Unfortunately, it's a very short window for it, only about 1 minute. And you need to be somewhere a little more flat. It's only going to be appearing about 10 degrees to the northwest, max height 10 degrees, so right there on the horizon. Some storms possible for this evening. I'll have another look at your futurecast coming up when we come back.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back. New this morning, job cuts at the companies that help you find work. The business world can't let go of landlines, and the Pop-Tart mascots are heading to Ireland. Fox's CJ Papa has today's business stories.
The parent company of Indeed and Glassdoor, Recruit Holdings, will slash roughly 1,300 jobs across the companies in a shift toward artificial intelligence, according to an internal memo. The cuts mostly fall within the U.S. in the research and development, growth, and people and sustainability departments, but they will also span across other countries and job sectors. While the office phone isn't going anywhere, the Wall Street Journal reports landlines are thriving in business for cost, convenience, regulation, and liability reasons, with the IP phone market worth $1.3 billion in 2024. Hotels in particular rely on landlines and rooms for emergencies and customer service. Firms like AT&T and Cisco continue to invest in landline tech, integrating AI features and ensuring seamless work functions. And we're getting closer to college football season, and some true icons are set to return for the season opener in Ireland. The edible mascots from last year's Pop-Tarts Bowl will be heading across the pond for the Iowa State-Kansas State opener in Dublin. The two teams are set to face off on August 23rd in what will be the first college football game of the new season. CJ Papa, Fox News.
In the meantime, over in the tech industry, there's a big push underway to develop new types of artificial intelligence-powered consumer electronics. Samsung is looking into wearable devices, potentially including earrings and even necklaces. The company envisions a new wave of AI devices that allows users to communicate and get things done without having to take out a phone. That's possible because several AI services are getting better at complex tasks. And with that, the major tech industry players can consider devices that don't need as much manual input as smartphones. Samsung says smart jewelry is definitely a possibility to fill this need. Well, Apple is known for launching new products in the fall, but according to a new report, Apple is also planning another launch early next year. Bloomberg says Apple is planning to release the budget-friendly iPhone 17e during the first half of 2026. The company is also reportedly planning to release several iPads as well as upgraded MacBook Pros. And consumers don't have to wait until next year for those new Apple products, as they're expected to launch a thinner iPhone 17, new Apple Watches, as well as a faster version of the Vision Pro headset later this year.
Taking another look at your forecast and a live view outside down in Fairhope, and conditions look nice out there. Just starting to see all of that sunshine, more of that construction that was being completed. So folks out there getting out and enjoying it. Now taking a look at conditions across the Gulf Coast, we are tracking some of those isolated showers out there, not so much impacting Mobile, Baldwin counties or the Florida Panhandle. The majority of this staying further inland, impacting our Mississippi counties, Clark County, and a little bit of Washington County. So really just starting to see some of those isolated showers closer towards Campbell. Coffeyville staying mostly quiet. quiet, but Mays Crossroads along with Jackson seeing just some of those moderate to heavy showers. Grove Hill, Thomasville, if you walk outside, you look out there, you'll likely just start to see all of those big, tall rain clouds out there. Only anticipating more of those to continue to track further off towards the east. Also areas closer towards Hillman starting to see some of those showers. Again, Leakesville, same situation for you. If you step outside, you look further up towards the west, you'll likely see some of those rain showers. No thunderstorms just yet, but anticipating more of those as we do get further along into the rest of today. Now, so far, showers that we're getting to fire off a little earlier than what the Futurecast was anticipating. We had more of those developing closer towards 12:30, 1 o'clock, but only expecting more of this to continue heading into the rest of today. Majority of the chances for the early part of the afternoon staying further inland. And then once we get closer towards 7, 8, 9 o'clock, that's when we start to see some of that rain coverage beginning to spread out a little bit more. So Mobile, Baldwin counties, portions of the Florida Panhandle getting their fair share, but I will say the majority of today's rain chances staying right along or on the north side of I-10. So really our inland spots, portions of Mobile, Baldwin counties, I'm not too concerned about the immediate coastline. To see some of that rain coverage still possible, just much lower chances. More of those showers and storms fizzle out later on in the evening. Now our summertime pattern, it is here and here to stay. We will still start to see some isolated showers and storms making their way into the forecast by this weekend and into the early part of next week. We mainly start to see that drop on Monday and Tuesday, but there's a trade-off. Temperatures are going up. We're going to be maxing out much warmer than what we're seeing for today. For today, we're just seeing those upper 80s, lower 90s. But by the time we get towards Monday and Tuesday, daytime highs mid to upper 90s. So it's only going to be turning a lot more hot across our area. We will be straying away from average. Today, we're right around it. That also includes our morning temperatures, but luckily nowhere near that previous record, 103. Set back in 1930. Now forecasted heat indices later on today, upper 90s and the triple digits, staying hot and staying toasty. The rip current risk at our local beaches low today, tomorrow Sunday. That water temperature upper 80s, beginning to turn into that bath water conditions out there. And then checking in on the tropics. Things are calm and quiet. No new tropical development is expected over the next 7 days. The Atlantic, the Caribbean, the Gulf waters right now are quiet, but just make sure that you are staying updated with us here at Fox 10. Always be cautious what you see on social media. By the end of next week, there is something that's wanting to pop up just a little bit. Really, it looks like increased rain chances for us here locally across the Gulf Coast. We'll continue to monitor, but again, be careful what you do see out there. Nothing of concern right now, just something that we want to alert you about once we do get closer. But as always, we'll keep you updated if there is anything that you need to know. Over the next 7 days, those temperatures go up on Monday and Tuesday. Rain chances go down just a little bit. I'll keep you updated throughout the rest of the hour. Ashlyn.
Thanks, Jen. Well, right now on the Fox 10 Gulf Stream, a number of scams are hitting our area. Scammers are going after everything from saving energy to getting a passport to vacations. Good Day Gulf Coast anchor Sarah Wall takes a closer look at these different scams going around and what you can do to keep your information safe. Sarah's Spotlight is exclusively on the Fox 10 Gulf Stream and can be seen live every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Well, in the meantime, it seems like buying a new car is becoming more unaffordable as the average price nears $49,000. People are being forced to get creative to get a new set of wheels. Here's Gary Harper.
Well, $1,000 a month or more is becoming more common for consumers who want to buy a new car. Think about that. $1,000 a month, and it has nothing to do with tariffs. Buying a new vehicle is considered one of the most expensive purchases a consumer will make, but affordability seems to be a problem. In fact, Edmunds.com just released a report that indicates the average car payment right now is $750 a month. And during the past 3 months, 20% of new car owners had signed up for monthly payments equaling $1,000 a month or more.
It's such a high number for people to comprehend. But
Joseph Yoon is an analyst with Edmunds.com and says $1,000 monthly car payments isn't for anything fancy or luxurious either.
These are just kind of larger cars that people are buying and that people need to get to work or, haul their family around. That's costing them over $1,000 a month.
To avoid high car payments, Joseph says consumers are financing for longer periods of time. Edmunds.com discovered 22% of new car buyers this past April, May, and June agreed to 84 monthly payments. That's 7 years.
What we're seeing now is that not only are vehicle prices so high, so is the interest rate. And so when you combine those two, there's no real winning for the consumer if you're out in the market trying to buy a new car.
And Joseph says tariffs are not to blame for affordability. He says the Ford Mustang Mach-E is made in Mexico, and Subaru, which is imported from Japan, are the two manufacturers who said they are raising prices. So if buying a new car seems to be out of reach, you're not alone.
You come in and say, hey, look, I don't need anything fancy. I just want the car that I've been driving. I just want the newer version. But the price difference from 7-8 years ago for that same car today might be $15,000, $20,000. And so when you tack on a 7% interest rate, you suddenly realize, oh my God, I can't afford this car.
And here's another reason why people can't afford to buy a new car. And that is not a lot of incentives out there from car manufacturers. In fact, in the past 3 months alone, less than 1% of all cars financed had 0% interest. In Phoenix, I'm Gary Harper.
Okay, the time 11:41 on your Friday now, and we want to remind you that next week, Fox 10 and the League of Women Voters will be hosting another mayoral forum. It's your chance to get to know the candidates who want to become the next mayor of Mobile. The date for that forum is July 15th. The event will be held at the Via Center on Dauphin Street. It's from 6 to 7:30 that night, and if you can't make it, don't worry. Fox 10 News will stream the event on all of our platforms. Well, coming up today, we celebrate one of America's favorite sides. We'll tell you which one that is. Plus, the Easy Shake Better Breader promises to get rid of the mess when you coat chicken to fry. We're testing it out in this week's Does It Work? Jen and I will be right back with lots of fun stories after this. All right, listen to this wild story. A woman hiking in Southern California records her close encounter with a mountain lion.
Oh, yeah. So it happened on July 3rd on a hiking trail in Los Padres National Forest.
The woman named Courtney was otherwise by herself.
She repeatedly yelled, "No," and "Go away."
Yeah, the mountain lion went into the brush and returned to the trail before eventually leaving the area. Jen, I don't know what I would do. This is one of my biggest fears.
Yeah, I would say that too, because you never quite know at all. And so it's just kind of slowly stepping back.
Okay.
I definitely get the recording it because you kind of need evidence if anything were to happen.
True. The fact that she pulled out her phone, though, I think I would have screamed and taken off the other way.
Slowly walk away.
Goodbye,
mountain lion. There
you
you go.
handled that very well, Courtney.
Yes, you did well.
Well, the second Friday in July is National French Fry Day.
Yes, it is. Now, sure, they may not be the healthiest, but who doesn't love a good French fry?
Yeah, along with burgers, French fries are one of America's most popular foods.
And fun fact, French fries aren't really from France.
It's believed the first fried potatoes were introduced to American soldiers in Belgium during World War I.
So some people believe that since French was the language of the Belgian army, American soldiers started calling them French fries.
Okay, so what's your favorite kind? Thin or thick cut, crinkle or waffle? Jen, we went to McDonald's yesterday.
We did, yes.
To get some of those snack wraps, and that's just, McDonald's has a classic fry.
They
Has to
really
be my
do.
favorite.
I think that my favorite is a good waffle fry.
Okay.
But I realized when we were talking about this in Studio 10, I have a connection. My two favorites are Chick-fil-A's and Five Guys fries too. And I think it's the peanut oil.
Probably.
I think
It gives it a
that's
different taste,
yeah. I think
a
that's the
different
connection
crunch.
that I like.
Give me all the salt. That's
all the
I'm saying.
salt, all the fries, all the sauce.
Well, long gone are the days of making a mess when frying up some of that chicken.
Or at least that's the claim coming from the makers of this week's Does It Work product.
Yeah, it's called the Easy Shake Better Breader.
Rachel Hackbarth puts it to the test in today's Does It Work.
At Livingston's, the chefs use just a panful of flour to hand batter food that they're frying up.
I think you put the chicken here and shake it.
We want to see if the Better Breader Tupperware set can make the process less messy.
Says it's easy.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
No, I have not.
For $14.99, we get a breader for chicken and even this bonus device for making blooming onions.
We don't need that.
We're just focusing on the breader for chicken for this test. There's only 3 steps.
It says number 1 slice, number 2 fill, and number 3 shake.
Chef Gerardo is helping us cook up some chicken for our test.
All we need is the flour in the bottom and chicken on top. It's a big piece of chicken. That is a big one.
All we have to do now is shake our Better Breader.
Yep, and Shake it up and down.
What's it look like?
Oh. How does it look, Gerardo? Looks fine.
But how evenly is our piece of chicken coated after we throw it in the fryer?
Oh my goodness, that's, wow. What do you think, Gerardo? That's a masterpiece.
Gerardo and Jeannie think it's easy to use and easy to clean. The better breader works. As for the taste test, back in the newsroom.
Not too much breading. It'd be good throwing like a salad. I'd take it for a salad.
For Does It Work, I'm Rachel Akbarth.
Okay, we could definitely make our own.
I
Just get a
definitely- yeah.
Tupperware, just find
Yeah.
your lid, your container at home,
There you
shake it
go.
up. That's what I do.
I don't know if it was like the thing in the bottom of it that made a difference.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what was different.
Yeah.
I already do that, so I already have my own version at home, I guess.
There you go. Well, let's go ahead and take a live look outside right now. This is going to be from the Eastern Shore. Traffic a little slow moving out there on the Bayway. Get ready for it. We're getting closer towards a big weekend here across the Gulf Coast. Just take it slow, take it easy for today. We'll be right back with 3 to Know before you go after this.
Welcome back. A first-of-its-kind competition features the best of world-class aerial photography, and one winner has soared high above the rest. Jeremy Roth has this story in today's Take a Look at This.
Take a look at the best from a brand new photography competition aimed at highlighting talented and artistic eyes in the skies. These are some of the finalist images from the inaugural International Aerial Photographer of the Year competition. In its first year, the contest saw more than 1,500 submissions from fearless photogs all around the world who took to the skies via planes, drones, hot air balloons, and more in an effort to cast light on the breadth, beauty, and sometimes brutality of the natural world. Highlights include this twisting tree of ice pattern forming in the waters of Greenland, a beautiful byproduct of a calving glacier, and this haunting look at an active Icelandic volcano from which cracks in lava formed a surreal smoking skull of sorts. But top honors for the inaugural Aerial Photographer of the Year went to New Yorker Joanna Steidel for her collection of stunning shots of marine life, all captured within a mere 10 miles of her Long Island home. It just goes to show you don't necessarily have to go far to capture breathtaking bird's eye views of the world. You just have to go up. More winners and finalist submissions can be viewed in the ebook on internationalaerialphotographer.com. Well, not to be outdone, one shutterbug who was flying higher than any of the aforementioned photogs captured an incredible shot from her perch on the International Space Station. Astronaut Nicole Ayers nabbed this incredible view of a weather phenomenon called a sprite, an event triggered by intense electrical activity that happens above the clouds of active thunderstorms. Captured above the U.S. and Mexico, the luminous natural event is seen literally outshining the artificial light of surrounding cities. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
3 to Know before you go on your Friday. It looks like the medical sitcom Scrubs is getting a reboot, and its original stars are heavily hinting they are on board. Scrubs ran for 9 seasons between 2001 and 2010. ABC, which aired the show's final 2 seasons, reportedly has ordered another season of the show to air in the 2025-26 TV season. On Instagram, the show's 3 lead actors appeared to confirm their involvement. Zach Braff, Sarah Chalk, and Donald Faison all posted about the show's revival. And then Bieber Fever is back as pop star Justin Bieber releases new music. Bieber teased fans with a sneak peek into his highly anticipated 7th studio album titled Swag. The album, now out on all streaming platforms with a total of 21 tracks. This comes after the pop star took to his Instagram to show billboards across the country depicting him with the album title, as well as a track list with song titles All I Can Take, Walking Away, Dad's Love, and Forgiveness. This is the first album Bieber has released since 2020. And then it's known as the greatest show in sport fishing. 66 teams hit the water for this year's Blue Marlin Grand Championship. The top bill fishing teams on the Gulf Coast are competing for their share of a record $1.8 million purse. This tournament will close out this season. 9 of the boats fishing are in the running for the coveted Triple Crown. There are lots of categories for prize money, but the largest blue marlin weight is expected to bring anywhere from $300,000 to $400,000. The show at the wharf is free. Those scales will be open today from 5 until 7 and Saturday from 5 until 8. Jen, should be a nice weekend for everything happening on the Gulf Coast.
That is exactly right, Ashlyn. So let's take one final look at your forecast for the Blue Angels. This is going to be for today. Tomorrow, a very similar forecast too. Those temperatures right around 90 degrees, feeling warmer with that humidity. Again, just a reminder that the Gulf waters are closed when the Blues are flying at 2 o'clock. Make sure you get creative with some of those ways to cool down. And in case you want to stay inside and enjoy them, we'll be live streaming that right on all of our Gulfstream platforms for today at 2 o'clock. But a look at the next 7 days. That summertime pattern is here to stay. A warm up by Monday and Tuesday. Those rain chances go down just a little bit. Heat in the seas closer towards 108 by Monday and Tuesday. Stay cool out there.
We hope you and your family have an amazing weekend here on the Gulf Coast. Thanks for watching Fox 10 Midday. Enjoy your Friday.